So as you're moving out, that's also aim smoothing?
So if you wanted to strafe outward, then you could use aim smoothing. But here's the deal. Aim smoothing works better with like medium to long strafes because you want to have time to actually pull sideways and kind of control that recoil. So if you're doing these really short strafes, it's really tough to... Here's the thing. The hardest part of an aim smooth is the initial adjustment to find how far you need to pull your stick to keep it level. So if you're constantly adjusting, you're constantly giving yourself that hardest part of finding the right like portion to pull your stick. And you basically have all these moments where your stick kind of like flicks and just isn't on target. So if you're fighting like medium distance or like you're fighting in and out of your cover here, trying to aim smooth, it's going to kind of flick your shit all over. So what I'm doing here is I think about flicking out, and then I put a burst of recoil into where I'm shooting. Step in, out, burst, step in. Step in, burst, step out.
Okay.
It's more of like a it's more of like a static way of shooting. You can kind of think of it like if I'm just going to look at this target here, I'm going to take a step out, control recoil, step in. Step, control recoil, step in. Step, control recoil, step in. And then when I do that off of a piece of cover, it looks like step, recoil, in. Step, recoil, in.
Okay.
It's less of a strafe, it's more of a flick to shoot.
Gotcha. Because with that short burst, you're not going to have so much recoil in it.
It's not so much that you won't have so much recoil, it's that here if you think of it like this is how I usually kind of like aim train my this is how I usually aim train. So check this out. I'm going to shoot this wall right here. Right? Do you have your hit markers turned on? You can see where shots land in your video settings? Yeah. Okay. So watch this. If I kind of shoot my gun here, right? Wait, I don't have my video settings turned on. Rep settings.
Oh,
video, impact
marker.
Oh yeah, impact markers is turned on. What the fuck? I guess there's just no patterns right there. Here, follow me right here. All right, here we go. So if I shoot my flat line, right? Every time you shoot your gun, it has the same pattern roughly. So what I'm trying to do when I'm shooting my recoil is I'm looking at the beginning portion of my pattern. What's the beginning portion of this pattern here? What's like the first like 5-6 bullets? Well, yeah, it's going up, right? But if I were to counter this, what would I do for both of these shots here?
Pull down.
Down and where?
You would pull down to the left.
Yeah, down and to the right here. It's pulling up left, so I pulled down right. So what I do with all of my favorite guns, I learn the beginning portion of the recoil pattern. So that way, when I flick out of cover, I can just shoot a straight laser beam. I just out, down to the right, down to the right, down to the right, down to the right. And that way, every time I stick out, it's just a straight laser, right? The last portion of your magazine, you're typically not getting to shoot that much because people are going to be looking at you, right? The only time that you can shoot that is if like just no one's engaging with you.
Right.
So what we're trying to just basically do here is we're trying to just step out, shoot that first portion of our magazine, keep ourselves in the cover, step out, first portion of the mag, first portion of the mag, first portion of that mag, first portion of that mag, and we're just focused on that recoil control. Now, that's going to be like a huge part of your health management, right? We're trying to shoot anywhere from like a quarter to a third of our mag. That keeps us from being in the open too long. We're flicking in and out of our cover. That way we don't stray too far off by accident and inadvertently stay in the open too long.
Right.
And now that we're shooting, when do we move up? This is something that I see you have a little bit of an issue with. When you're moving, you typically shoot, pause for a couple seconds, and then you move. And that pause is basically allowing your opponent to look away and then start watching because they're going to re-engage you, and they catch you making the beginning of your move all the way to the very end, and you're getting shot that whole time. So what we want to do is we want to think of it like this. Do you ever watch like do you watch any sports?
Just UFC boxing.
Oh, that's literally my favorite way to like explain stuff. if I want to throw some crazy like uppercut or, you know, like, I don't know, like big overhand swing on you, right? Can I just throw that? Or do I need to set myself up for it?
You have to be in the right position to throw it.
Why though? Like, why don't I mean, I'm going to knock you out. Why don't I just throw this big hook on you?
Because your opponent can also counter react or be in a better position to you, or you won't be able to actually land that shot because you're just throwing it into the open when your opponent's not even there.
Yeah, right. Or, right, basically they can see it happening because it's such a big move, right?
Right.
Like, it takes a big setup for it. It has to be set up to be able to throw something without getting countered. That's the same concept here, right? If I just go for this move forward, whether it be like a physical like step forward, or even if it be like a swing on you to hit that big roundhouse kick, you're going to see that shit coming and you're simply just going to go into cover or take a step back and it's just not going to land on you.
Right.
So I need to make sure that I'm setting myself up, right? I'm throwing my jabs. I'm making you block by coming into cover. But if I make you block and I don't move up right away, you're going to recover and then you're going to see that I'm now throwing that big hook. So what we need to do is we need to follow through off of it. Now, here's the thing. A lot of the time, when you're setting yourself up for, let's just say, a big kick or something, right? Are you just, my bad. Are you going to throw your jabs and see if the person's set up? Or are you going to
throw my jab?
Right? You're basically going to understand when I do this, that's how he'll have to react, which means it's going to automatically be set up. Right? It's the same concept here. If I'm jabbing at you, I know you're going to look away and I'm just going to move off that. If I'm hitting you, right? If I'm physically connecting shots, I know guaranteed you're going to look away. If I'm not connecting shots, I know that you're probably going to look away. Right. So what I'm just trying to do is I'm just trying to set myself up. Okay. Yeah, he can't look. I'm moving up a little bit. I know he's going to disengage that. And now that I'm closer, I'm just rinsing, repeating. Keep that pressure, keep that pressure, keep that pressure, and I can move up off of this. And if they don't block, if they don't look away, I'm just gonna punish them for free. That's like them staying close and letting me just keep punching them over and over and over again.